Aloha and good morning. Welcome to the House Committee on Tourism. It is Tuesday, March 14th at 10 a.m. and we are in room 423. I think you guys know how we'd like to do things around here, so let's just get to it. First on the end, and I stuttered right off the bat. And this is live, right? Yes. Great. All right, first on the agenda is SB 304 relating to visitor impact fees. We have the Office of the Governor in support.
Morning, Chair, Vice Chair Blake Oshiro, Senior Advisor for the Governor. We stand on our written testimony and support, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much. Next, we have DLNR in support.
Good morning, Chair, Vice Chair. Alan Carpenter, Assistant Administrator with State Parks, and we will stand on our testimony and support, offering amendments.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have HTA with comments.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members, and Member LaChico, welcome. Ilihia Johnson for the Hawaii Tourism Authority. We stand on our written in support and stand by to help educate our visitors. Mahalo.
Thanks very much. Next, we have State of Hawaii Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission in support.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Leah Laramie with the Hawaii State Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation Commission. Stand on our testimony and strong support. Our natural lands are going to be really vital in our climate-ready resilience in the future. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the Office of Planning and Sustainable Development in support.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Danielle Bass, State Sustainability Coordinator. The Office of Planning and Sustainable Development stands our testimony in strong support of SB 304. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the Maui Hotel and Lodging Association in support.
Aloha, Chair and Vice Chair and members of the committee. I'm Lisa Paulson with Maui Hotel and Lodging Association, and I stand on my written testimony in strong support of SB 304. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we have the Kohala Coast Resort Association with comments. All right. Hawaii Green Fee in support.
Hi, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I'm standing on our strong written support on behalf of the coalition of 45 small businesses and organizations working on solutions alongside state agency. I just wanted to share one comment, which is that, which is in our written testimony, but just that we strongly encourage resources to be distributed to solutions across Hawaii, both within state parks and outside of state parks, so we can meet the needs of our region when it comes to sustainability, conservation, and climate. Thank you.
Thanks. Next, we have Kua'aina Ulu Awamo in support.
Not present.
Okay. We have Hui Maka'ainana Omakana in support. Chipper? No? Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
hey,
here,
Chipper.
Chair.
I knew you'd be here. Welcome.
Hey, yeah, aloha. Thank you for allowing me to testify via Zoom this morning. It's so wonderful to be able to be in your room virtually. I stand on my support, strong support, obviously, for this. And I just want to emphasize to the committee, as somebody who's been intimately involved in Haiena all of my life, but especially with the paradigm shift we've had there, how enjoyable it is because the visitors are so responsive. They really feel so good that their money is being put to use to preserve the community, the resource, the state park, etc. And their experience is so much better. And so I really believe that what we've done in Haiena, it gives us an inkling of what a green fee response from our visitor industry will be like. I think visitors will be happy to pay it if they know that money is going to all the great things that are outlined in this bill. So thank you for allowing me to voice my support today. Aloha.
Thanks, Chipper. Always great to hear you from you.
Yeah.
Next, we have Kupu in support. We have Wild Kids in support. We have the Hawaii Reef and Ocean Coalition and Climate Protectors Hawaii in support. The Kauai Women's Caucus in support. Friends of Hanauma Bay in support. Olama Learning Center in support. Surfrider Foundation in support. Hawaii Youth Climate Coalition in support. Nature Conservancy in support.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. I'm Anthony Ching with Nature Conservancy from Hawaii, and Yes, strong support for this bill. Thank you for hearing it today and moving it forward. We asked you to move it forward. I want to. It's hard to follow Chipper and his discussion, but we agree wholeheartedly with what he discussed and want to make sure that the funding is available for the wide array of impacts that tourism has, including utilizing freshwater resources and the protection they receive from coral reefs. So thank you again for hearing the bill.
Thank you, Anthony. Next, we have the Resources Legacy Fund in support.
Aloha and good morning. I'm Melissa Pavlicek on behalf of Resources Legacy Fund. We're in strong support of this measure. We've included some recent polling data in our testimony. There is strong community support. We thank the committee for its work on establishing a visitor impact fee and look forward to hopefully seeing it go further this session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We also have the Trust for Public Land in support. Imua Alliance in support. Tax Foundation with comments. Tom Yamachika, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Tom Yamachika from Tax Foundation of Hawaii. We do have concerns about the constitutionality of this bill, and let me kind of explain where we're coming from. We understand that it is 100% permissible to impose a user fee for a particular park or attraction that a tourist is visiting, if that the monies from the visitor fee are then used to keep up or maintain that particular park or attraction. We understand also that if you impose a tax solely on visitors, you can't do that under the Privileges and Immunities Clause of the U.S. Constitution. And the question then becomes whether the fee that is contemplated in this bill is more like a tax or more like the user fee that I talked about earlier. Like, for example, Hanuma Bay, there was a court case that validated that as a source of revenue for Hanuma Bay, and even though that fee is not applied to locals, it is still okay under the Constitution, and that's fine. The problem that we have is that the monies that are collected from this do not come from any particular attraction and may be used for various purposes other than the attractions that are used by the tourists. So it sounds more like a distribution of general revenue, and that seems to violate the test that the Hawaii Supreme Court put forward as to what is a tax versus what is a user fee. And if it's a tax, we are concerned that this does not pass constitutional muster. Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thanks, Tom. I heard you on the radio yesterday. You sounded really smart. Good job, man. Next, we have Maui.
It'd be a first.
No, except Tom, you were saying mean things about one of my bills.
Oh, too bad.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Tom. Next up, we have Maui Chamber of Commerce in support. We also have HLTA in support. The Grassroots Institute of Hawaii with comments. I'm sorry, it's just the singular, one Grassroot Institute. We also have Laukahi, the Hawaii Plant Conservation Network, in support. And then we have a number, so many individuals also in support. Is there anyone else here who would like to testify on this particular measure? Seeing none, members' questions? Oh, I'm sorry.
I realize I'm behind the podium.
I couldn't see you. Come on up, please.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Dyson Chi. I submitted testimony as an individual, but for this purpose, in person, I'll be testifying on behalf of the Hawaii Youth Climate Coalition, which Chair Quinlan, you mentioned earlier. So SB 304, we're standing in strong support of this measure because it is incredibly important for our generation. We realize that our life here and our future here depends on how well we take care of our natural resources, because all of us depend on them. If you eat, if you drink, if you live, you depend on the natural resources that we have to do so. Ultimately, keeping those natural resources in good health means keeping ourselves in good health. The problem is that we don't have the funding to do that, It's really, really hard. I understand that this state is cash strapped. We work really, really hard. I know all of the representatives and senators here work really hard to make sure that we have a budget that works. But at the end of the day, our natural resources don't get the allocation of funding that they need. And ultimately, we need that green fee in order to support our natural resources, so that way our generation can continue to thrive and live here and call this place our home. So thank you for the opportunity to testify in strong support of SB 304. We really sincerely hope that this bill will be kept as a broad-based fee that can support our natural resources as a whole and not just parks, because our lives depend on much more than that. So thank you, members of the committee, for all of your support and all of your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Please. All right.
Just made it. Hi, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Duray Shin, Community Organizer for the Hawaii Green Fee. And we just really want to emphasize the importance of a broad-based green fee. Funding from state parks is not enough, and it is really limited in terms of how it can be expended. And as we all know, just seeing all the resources across Hawaii, our coral reefs, our coastlines, we need help with preservation and offsetting visitor impact across the state outside of just parks. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Anyone on Zoom? All right, seeing none. Members, questions? Rep. Nakamura.
Speaker, thank you, Chair. I have a question for the Attorney Generals. Is anyone here from the Attorney General office? And if not, Governor's office?
Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask, the question has been raised several times about the constitutional muster and whether the bill as written can meet that, meet the need that it is funds are going to be used just where the funds are collected and not toward other needs. And is that, do you have the buy-in from the Attorney General on this bill as written?
So I apologize that they didn't submit testimony on this particular measure, but as the committee member may remember, before Cross, you had heard House Bills number 1162 as well as House Bill number, I think there was another one, 1051, I believe. And in both of those, the Attorney General gave suggestions which he felt that the language would help on the constitutional question. Really what we needed to do was have narrative in the bill and particular provisions that tied the impacts of visitors onto the need for the resources to be spent and why those two kind of tie together. And so what we would suggest is some of the language that your committee had passed out in the prior versions on the House bills would be helpful when it comes to this particular measure. In terms of your actual question about, I think as proposed by the Tax Foundation, that a fee is a user fee and must be towards that particular park or beach or use. I think that is one narrow interpretation, but we believe actually looking at what the AG has testified in the past that it's not that specific. And so as long as we can continue to tie the impacts that visitors are doing onto our natural resources, we can actually use it for those purposes.
Yeah, so one of my concerns is that, we would like to be able to fund for example, watershed protection. We want to fund fire prevention measures within DLNR, some of the aquatic coral reef improvements that are needed. And yet, I'm not sure whether a fee, the visitor may not actually use this resource directly.
Correct.
Or may not be in the depth of the ocean where the coral reef, where we want to do the restoration or whatnot. So how do we use the money collected in these areas where visitors, we may not want them to be in certain areas. They may be dangerous areas or areas we want to protect certain natural resources. How do we get the funds to those areas that are remote or the visitor may not be?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and if it's okay, I think DLNR might be better suited, but my overall perspective would be that the way the bill currently is structured, it allows a lot of the program implementation and decisions on locations and where the fee would be established and enforced and where the resources would actually be going is left to the department. And so I think as long as the department has the ability to create a nexus between the fees that are collected and whatever they plan on expending it towards, and they can establish that there is some sort of relationship, then I think we would be fine with that.
Okay, and then they can use general fund resources in those areas where the nexus isn't there.
Quite clear, right? Like,
Yeah.
like for example, watershed, because I can't imagine there's a whole lot of people trouncing around in the wetlands up in the
Yeah.
mountains, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Of course.
And then the mechanism, can you just sort of clarify again the mechanism to collect the fee?
So the way the bill is currently written, there would be a program established by DLNR. They would start it up when they feel that it's ready. They then would have signage that goes up in the various places to let visitors know. In addition to that, we would also be doing an education program so that visitors would know that when they visit certain parks or beaches or places that there would be a fee. And so then it would, as put in the bill, they can do it on the internet. There would be kind of like a mobile app. There would be various ways for them to actually pay their fee and demonstrate that they've paid the fee. And then the enforcement would be left to DLNR to decide how and if it's a person or what other measure they would use to actually enforce.
Okay. And then, final question, I promise, is, so DLNR has recommended 4 amendments to the bill. Is the governor's office in support of those 4
yes.
amendments?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chair.
Chair, may my sister and I submit testimony? We apologize for being late.
Oh, we'll take it, absolutely. Did you want to come and give it at the microphone, please?
Yes, please.
Come on up. Back to testimony.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, sorry for being late and we missed the bus.
Okay.
All right, aloha Chairman, Vice Chairman, and honorable members of the committee. So my name is Kristen Mia Evert, and I am testifying in strong support of SB 304. So I grew up with stories of Hawaii from my mother. She attended part of high school and university here in Hawaii. And finally, after 20 years, my mom got to return for a visit and bring her daughter with her. And I finally understood why Hawaii is so special. I now live here in Oahu, in Laie, and I'm currently a university student studying hospitality and tourism management and communications. I know that clear communication and safeguards in the policy ensuring the green fee funds are used for their intended purpose will increase both residents' trust and will increase the stewardship of those who visit Hawaii. If anything has stood out to me from my Hawaiian Studies and Pacific Island Studies classes, is that Malama Aina expresses our kuleana to care for the land and properly manage the resources and gifts it provides. We can be stewards by taking the steps needed to offset visitor impact. We have the opportunity to educate guests as they learn the importance of Malama Aina. I work in the guest services department within the tourism industry, and every day I interact with visitors who would be affected by this required contribution. This is a unique opportunity to uplift visitors and create appreciation for the treasure that Hawaii is. People travel from around the world to experience these islands. Let's make education and appreciation part of that experience. And maybe in 20 years, after I've graduated, I'll bring my daughter to visit beautiful Hawaii, and I will happily pay the visitor's contribution with gratitude, knowing that future generations get to enjoy Hawaii's unique natural resources. Thank you.
Thank you. You came all the way from Laie on the bus?
Yes.
I gotta give you guys a bus for that. Right on.
My sister's hard to follow up. Yeah, we did some running.
Aloha, Chair Quinlan and Vice Chair Hussey Burdick, and honorable members of the committee. It's a pleasure to testify before you today. I would like to add to my sister's remarks and contribute to my own witness as to the importance of passing this bill, SB 304. So much is good. So much good is happening in this beautiful state. I imagine where the Aina would be and the wildlife here without all of the many contributions of all those that live here and those in government that work to protect it. But if we do more, the positive consequences will be monumental and felt for generations. The land, sea, reefs, forests, and mountains, they are so important to all of the people that work and live here. The environment, it's like the human body, where if we are injured, our body, we protect it, we clean it, we take care of it, and then it's able to heal and generate on its own. And Hawaii, if we do that, we'll do the same. The bill here is the key to unlocking the potential of millions of residents and visitors from all around the world. A required green fee or contribution could provide the state and nonprofit organizations with 3 to 4 times the funding that they have now. So 3 to 4 times the funding is huge. And most are very limited in funding and they know exactly how they would handle and spend that money if they had it. So we have such capable people, beautiful land, and excited visitors who have dreamed of visiting this special place their whole lives. Working in guest services for the last 2 years has given me the chance to see how willing and enthusiastic guests are about contributing and feeling connected to Hawaii. As we and our island visitors give to the land, it will become even more capable of abundantly giving to us and our children. If done right, it will give us the opportunity to share with those and visit the joy and fulfillment that comes with good stewardship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, both of you, for coming down. I appreciate it. Members, are there any further questions? Trish, please. I'm sorry, Representative Lachika. Sorry, bad habit.
No problem,
Working
Chair.
on it. Working on it.
Good morning. Question for DLNR. In your amendment for the 2 program specialist positions, does that include, do you anticipate that that includes as part of their responsibilities being able, it requires, as any new program, requiring the coordination and kind of broad-based education campaign that will, that it'll entail in notifying the visitors, arriving to the state? Do you feel that the 2 program specialists, what their focus would be, and if that would be sufficient to, be able to launch the statewide program?
Yes, the 2 program specialists, we also have, I believe, 3 other positions requested there in the amendment. They will be really coordinating all of the mechanisms and all of the details of the program, including public education, which, as you all have shared and our testifiers have shared, is a very critical foundational component of launching a successful visitor impact fee program. So they will be part of it. At the leadership level, myself and Chair Chang will be part of that, as well as our administrators, working in close partnership with communities and nonprofit organizations and counties. So that is really the one of the key components, is being able to work with our visitor industry, our airlines, to really get out the message and craft the right message that speaks to the beauty of Hawaii, the beauty of our culture, and also what we're trying to build in everyone, which is really that sense of reciprocity. So if you're here, anyone who turns on the tap, you're benefiting from watershed stewardship, right? Anyone who is swimming in the ocean, you're benefiting from erosion control practices. So you may not see the work directly, you may not see that group of volunteers and staff, but everything is connected in our environment. And so we want to share that that concept of reciprocity and kuleana in the educational campaign.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Nakamura?
Sorry. Can I ask Alan Carpenter to come up from DLNR?
Hey, good morning, Rep. Nakamura.
Morning. I wanted to ask you, one of the testimonies that we received from Kua Aina Ulu Auamo asked that we add a 4th priority to the award of the grants, And the priority that they recommend is that initiatives that further public trust responsibilities to Native Hawaiian community in regards to the perpetuation of their culture and relationship with the environment be considered as the fourth criteria, in addition to the three that you have listed on page 10. What are your thoughts about this?
That's a good question and a laudable goal. And of course, in my working throughout my career with state parks, I have seen that the Native Hawaiian communities have a particular connection with places. They also have constitutional rights above the rest of us because of this connection in their history. So it's certainly something we consider. I've been working with Hawaiian communities in places like Ha'ena throughout my career, and I think it would probably happen with or without a requirement, but it's certainly something that we should consider.
Yeah, I don't know if this would be a requirement. It would just be one of the things to consider in awarding grants.
Laudable goal, absolutely. And I'd just like to say also that since I'm up here, I really appreciate the young folks in the room giving their testimony today. I was thinking, I don't think I could drag my kids out of bed in Aina Haina and bring them with me. And these guys who came from Laie, so kudos to them. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Members, any further questions? All right, thanks everyone. Moving on to SB 797 relating to time sharing plans. First we have DCCA in opposition.
Madam Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Lori Beth Van Canford. I'm the timeshare administrator with the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. We sent out our written testimony offering comments and want to note that we have been working with ARDA, which is the proponents of the bill, and we've actually come to an agreement on language. I've seen the language that ARDA has proposed, and it's acceptable to the department.
Okay, great. Next we have Unite Here Local 5 in opposition. We have Marriott Vacations Worldwide in support.
Morning, Chair, members of the committee. Mike Yosua on behalf of Marriott Vacation. We stand in support of the bill, and thank you for hearing it.
Thank you. We also have ARDA Hawaii in support. And we have National ARDA in support.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Justin Vermuth with ARDA. We stand in strong support of this legislation and submitted written testimony, and happy to make ourselves available for any questions that you may have. Also wanted to thank DCCA and the director and the timeshare administrator for working with us on a solution that's, I believe, the best for the regulated parties and for consumers as well. So thank you, and be available for any questions.
Thanks very much. That's all the testifiers we have. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more late testimony from Hilton Grand Vacations in support. That is all the testimony we have. Members, questions? Seeing none, moving on. Next we have SB 798 relating to time sharing. First we have DCCA with comments.
Again, Lori Beth Van Canford. Same with this bill. We've been working with ARDA, and we have come to an agreement on language that addresses our concerns. And Mike has.
This is great. You guys are doing our job for us. Thank you so much. Next we have Maui Hotel and Lodging in support. We have Marriott Vacations Worldwide in support.
Thank you, Chair. Mike Yosua again on behalf of Marriott Vacations. As Lori Beth mentioned, we have been working with them. We support the amendments proposed by ARDA.
Okay. Thanks very much. Next we have ARDA Hawaii in support. And we have the National American Resort Development Association in support. Justin, are you with us?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, we stand in strong support of this legislation as well. Submitted written testimony, and happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much. Next we have Hilton Grand Vacations in support. That's all the testimony we have. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, moving on to SB 799 also relating to time sharing plans. First, we have DCCA with comments.
Again, we sent out a written testimony offering comments. However, on this one, we're not quite there yet. We're still working with ARDA, so we still need a little bit more time to hopefully come to some agreement on some proposed language. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Marriott Vacations Worldwide in support.
Thank you, Chair. Mike Yosua, again on behalf of Marriott Vacations, and ditto the comments by Timeshare Administrator. We're still working on this, but hope we can continue to move it forward. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Next, we have ARDA Hawaii in support. And once again, we have Justin from the American Resort Development Association in support.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Justin Vermuth with ARDA. We also stand in strong support of this measure, and we have submitted written testimony as well. As the DCCA director said, we're hoping to come to an agreement on the language soon, as you know, the legislative process is moving on, and happy to be available for any questions. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks very much. And we also have Hilton Grand Vacations in support. Members, are there any questions? Seeing none, we will move on to SB 629, which is relating to the Hawaii Tourism Authority. First up, we have one and only one piece of testimony from HTA with comments.
Aloha ho kako. Hawaii Tourism Authority stands on our written comments, and we just want to underscore that as we're recovering from COVID, as meetings, conventions are coming back, it's an especially fragile time to make big changes in the way we market meetings, conventions, and incentives. So just want to underscore that point. Other than that, we stand on our written and standing by for any questions. Mahalo nui.
Thanks very much. Members, questions? All right, seeing none, let's recess for DM. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to decision making on our 10 a.m. agenda. First up is SB 304 SD2 relating to visitor impact fees. I'd like to keep the conversation alive. I think it's a wonderful measure. We are going to make some amendments. We're going to take all of DLNR's amendments except amendment number 3. We are not adding the Environmental Legacy Commission back in at this time, although I'm not totally opposed to the idea, but we'll just keep it moving in this form for now. And then on page 7, line 19, as well as page 8, line 1, we want to make it clear that it will take effect 5 years. I'm sorry, that penalties may be assessed beginning 5 years from the effective date of the act, and we will also be going with the House defective date of June 30, 3000. See, normally Daniel tells me, and he's not here today. June 30, 3000. That's going to take a long time to get used to. Members, questions, comments, concerns?
This is Senate Bill 304?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to thank those who created it and support it. I think we should tax the tourists.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you, Rep. Pierrick. Members, any further questions, comments, or concerns?
Chair,
Yes,
I just
Vice Chair.
want to make a note that this is not a tax, this is a fee.
Oh, we have a robust discussion here, ladies and gentlemen. Democracy manifest. All right, any further questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Okay, members, we're voting on SB 304 SD2. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Representative Holt is excused. Representative Kong is excused. Representative La Chica.
Aye.
Representative Lamasa.
Aye.
Representative Nakamura.
Aye.
And Representative Park. Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you so much, members. What a wonderful committee I have. Next, we have SB 797, the first of our 3 timeshare bills. We're going to take ARDA's amendments because there seems to be broad agreement between the state and the industry, and we'll also be going with the House defective date, June 30, 3000. Members, any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Members, we are voting on SB 797 SD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair and Vice Chair vote aye. Are there any members voting no? Any members voting with reservations? Noting the excused absence of Representative Holt and Kong, Chair, your measure is adopted.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Next up, we have SB 798 SD1. We also have broad agreement on this measure, so again, we will be taking ARDA's amendments, as well as going with the House defective date, June 30, 3000. Members, any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, thanks, guys. Seeing none, Vice Chair for the vote.
Members, we're voting on SB 798 SD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting the excused absences of Representative Holt and Representative Kong, are there any no votes? Any reservations? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much, members. Next, we have SB 799. We do not have agreement yet, so you guys have till April. So we'll just keep it moving for now. And we will make technical amendments as well as using the House defective date of June 30, 3000. Members, questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Members, we're voting on SB 799 SD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting the excused absence of Representatives Holt and Kong, are there any members voting no? Any members with reservations? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you so much, members. Last but not least, we have SB 629 relating to the Hawaii Tourism Authority. Members, we have a lot of uncertainty around the convention center right now. But I would like to keep this conversation going, so we'd like to pass this out with the House defective date of June 30, 3000. Members, questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, Vice Chair.
Members, we're voting on SB 629 SD1. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Noting the excused absences of Representatives Holt and Kong, are there any members voting no? Any members with reservations? Chair, your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you so much, members, and all of our testifiers. We are adjourned.